So hi everyone, good evening. Hope you are doing extremely well. As you all know, today we have event of Android development with open source, and for this event we have Mr. Manish Singh with us. He's an Android developer at an academy and open source SIH 2019 winner. So hope you will enjoy the session. Yes, sir, we can continue the event.
Okay, so let's start, guys. So this let me clear sub module part, like how the talk is going on. Talk is around the basics of Android app development, how you can start with Android app development, how you can basically proceed with your first app, and then how can you go for the professional, and when you can say you are industry ready, you're ready for the industry and get into the job. And how, what is the importance of open source? And nowadays open source is like everybody just talk about that, but yeah, what is really means, right? It's not only means like contribution, it means what kind of impact you are creating in the society, right? So that is one of the thing. So let's start. Okay, so first thing is that if you are the college student, so first thing is that you start with the any language, right? Java or Kotlin. So 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 before uh, before 2017, I think so, or 19, Java is only supported, or C++. Those who is very interested about the NDKs, so C++ was there. But after some time scenario get changed. Google introduced Kotlin as an official language for the Android app development. So now you can start with the Kotlin too. So many of the students have a confusion, like what should I go for? Should I go for the Kotlin or should I go for the Java? So this is the one of the thing the every student ask. They wondering about that. So see, in industry, the legacy code base are in the Java, right? They it's very difficult, in a few years to get into the whole code base into the Kotlin, because it's a humongous effort, right? And you are not impacting the revenue, right? So startups, big companies, they can take that effort, but startups, they only care about how we can do experiments and how we can earn money from those experiments, right? So revenue is one of the point that startups care about, right? So they think about, okay, there is no boilerplate code, there is a no nothing, right? So okay, give me a minute, sorry.
Sure, sir.
Okay, so if there is a no sorry, where I was.
So you were basically talking about
I was in. Okay.
startup just focus on revenue. They don't care about the language thing. Yep.
Right. So startups don't care about the languages. They care about the product, right? Yeah, products should be these features, and they should take money in the company, right? So in that case, there is one more thing, like cost of development, right? That is one of the thing which they care about. So they started writing new codes in a Kotlin, right? But the old codes are in a Java right now. So they are shifting with the little efforts, right? Every sprint, they some sprint they are providing these work, like convert legacy code into Kotlin. Those sprint we doesn't have that much of work, or those are the light sprint. So in that they are doing these kind of stuff. But they are not, the code base of the new company which are just emerged in a just coming 1 year or 2 year. In those company you will see the whole code base in the Kotlin, but not in the company which have a 5 year or 6 year old, right? At least. So here, take away is that like, you have to start with the Java, right? Learn Java, how oops are working, right? How your data structure is working. Then write an interesting project, right? There is a lot more interesting project you can make by that, right? You can use Java FX for the UI, right? I do a lot, right? Because I love to make things, right? Because Programming is not about just just for the interest. This is about your enthu regarding that programming, right? So according to me, go and deep dive. I'm not sure कि okay ठीक है you will say कि कितना कितना उसका फायदा होगा. So I'm not sure कि उसका उसका फायदा आपका इंटरव्यू में होगा कि नहीं होगा. But you will get a lot more confident. Okay, finally I built this weather app, right? So I will say go with the Java and learn Java, right? Read the things. Firstly, basically, cover the topics. Then start making projects. That will help you a lot. That will give you motivation to make new things, right? Then you will find okay, what is the issue in that. Uh, oh, can you wait for can we wait for few minutes?
Yes, sir. Yes, we can. Issues.
Hello, Ankit. Okay, yeah, am I audible, right?
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Okay, thank you so much. My friend is calling because of
Oh,
his Amazon is okay.
issues.
Okay, so so I was there ki make your projects, right? Because that will give you the motivation. That will give you motivation to make new things, right? Then you can start with the go to the Kotlin, because shifting is very important. Basically, nowadays Android basically Google is doing a lot more conferences and lot more dev fest and all, because of they want people should switch from the Java to Kotlin, because they are providing the awesome things in Kotlin. Because Kotlin is a now this time language, right? Basically just few year olds. But Java is a very old language, so they have some limitations. They have a lot more boilerplate code. Your development speed is too slow. Then there's a lot more functionality which Kotlin provides, right? So these are the things for which you should start with a Kotlin, so that in an industry, when you get a task of converting the legacy code, you are okay with that. When you have a task for making a new feature, then you are also okay with that. So start with the Kotlin. Then whenever the so whenever you are learning the first programming language, right? So the second programming language doesn't take that much of time, because Kotlin is a top of the Java, right? It's a basically providing the convenience, which is the pain point of the Java. Those are removed in the Kotlin, right? So it's a pretty much easy to learn Kotlin after learning Java, right? Because your basics are so much clear, your OOP concepts are so much clear. Then it's not will take more time. It will take hardly 1 month to you to practice the Java Kotlin, and then you can start writing the code on Android app. So for the Android app, I will say the same thing. For the few months, for the 1 month or 2 month, just write code on the Java. Because learning Java and implementing it into the framework, so that is very difficult, right? Because they have their own SDK. They have some wrapper on it. So you have to basically do little bit of practice, then you are good to go. Otherwise, if you doesn't do, that's not mind. If you are very hurry in a hurry, like a student who is in a fourth year, who is in a third year, so I will say go with the Kotlin. Don't do Java stuff. Whenever you get a task, you just ask your manager to give me some time for learning these things, right? So go with the Kotlin and start your development, Android app development. S- First of all, start by making the small apps. Small apps are very important. Start making a timer app. This is very small app, right? But here you will get a lot more things, right? You didn't need a lot more knowledge about the Android app development, but you are making one app, so that will boost you like boom. It means you are making a one app finally, right? So that's the motivation you will get there. Then start with a whenever you are making a one small app, then start with a calculator app. Make the calculator app. How calculator app working, right? Then start making login screen. How should we look like a login screen, right? So first thing I will say, for the any framework, like whenever you are learning of web development or Android app development, whatever you will be learn, start making projects as early as possible. Learn few things which is important. Learn layouting, learn views, right? And just start making a project. Because you are learning Java, then you are learning Kotlin, which is purely theory, right? You are basically getting the output on the command line, black screen. So your mindset is like, what is this, what I am doing here, right? Basically I'm making a command, like I'm basically just doing a 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. What kind of things I will give to society? 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. This is already made. So these kind of things, it comes in your mind. So when these kind of things comes, then your motivation get down. When motivation get down, your momentum get down, and then eventually you will don't do anything. You will just sit and basically think, okay, let's start trading. so so don't think about that. First start making the projects. Start making projects. For the small one, you get lot more motivation. You think like, okay, इसको प्ले स्टोर पे डालते हैं, देखते हैं कितना वो आता है, right? And then start making a 2 or 3 small projects, uh, like a to do app. Make a to do app. Whatever you want to do, make that kind of app. Notes app. Very simple app, right? So these are the all the database. Then you have get good knowledge about कि, okay, view कैसे क्या दिखता है, how the layouting works on, how your basically recycler view works, right? How the list view works, right? Then you have a better idea about, okay, how the event flow goes, right? How you are clicking, and it's you are observing that click, and how you are implementing your operation in on that, right? So these things are getting cleared. There is a one more thing ki, like theory get missed, right? So there is a one very good repository, right? That's a mind.org repository. You can write a mind.org interview questions, right? That is a one of the repository, which basically they have written a question, and then they have written a blog, very good blog on that. So just you can click on that, and you are go to that blog, and then you can read, okay, how the things are working there, right? In a theoretical manner. So because theory is important. No, it's not in you can't ignore it, right? But yeah, because whenever you have a theory, lot more theory in mind, so whenever the new problems comes, right? So you have an idea, okay, so this is the way what I did, then I can make that too, right? So so theory is very important, I think. So this is the one of the thing. Then whenever the your small apps completed, then go for the network call apps, right? Make there is a two way to do that. One is, if you are very creative, right? So make your own app, whatever you want to, like food delivery app. If you want to make a news app, so make a news app like Tap, right? Then start thinking about how the bigger company layouts look, right? So you can make a Spotify. There is a lot more free APIs for the music, right? So get that API, fetch the data, then start making that, right? That app. So that is the one of the thing. Then you can basically on the other way, the first way I have talked about, ki, if you're very creative, right? So if you're very creative, then you can think about, okay, my look app look like that, right? So that is the one of thing. Other is a non-creative person, because if you are developer, so I supposed to, okay, your creative power is not, like, your imagination power is not that much of good, because designers, we have a designers, right? Because for making your UI and all this stuff, you have just need to code. But when you are making your project, so you are basically your designer, your coder, your project manager, everything you are. So basically, for that I will say ki, those are not very creative, so copy the things which is present in this world, right? There is a Ingur app. Go on that app, take the API and make Instagram. Instagram is already there. You didn't think about. Otherwise, if you have a issue of ki how many DP that circular image is looking and all this stuff, minor detail, you can go on Applabs and just search free. Sorry, Instagram redesign. Doesn't do lot more changes, but you will get many of free UIs. So from there you can get ki, okay, UI kaisa banana hai, right? Then you can make a Instagram app, then you can make a Spotify app. Then there is a lot more ways, right? Like hundreds of app on Play Store. Just take the app, clone it, publish it. Not publish it on Play Store. Just commit it on the GitHub, and you're ready with the project. Whenever you are mentioning ki I have basically make of 10 plus of clone apps, interviewer is like, oh, who is that god person who have the 10 plus of clone app? Because clone app also needs efforts, right? So they want a person who have a curse of basically they have a basically feeling of learning new things and all this stuff, right? That is very important. So that is very important. The interviewer thinks about, the company think about, ki the person should be the hardworking. So that is showing your projects ki you are making a 10 plus project. How many into you have for making that those projects? Those are not a easy task. Not every person do that. So then whenever you have done with that, then you can come to the very cool things, whatever you want. Like there is a one skydog repository, that's a 2022 Android app development roadmap, that is from the starting to pro kind of seat is there. That's contain all the Jetpack Compose, your room, your basically there is a lot more job scheduler services, and there's a lot more thing to learn, there's a lot more thing to check it, ki how that thing is, what that thing is providing us, because everything is made here for some reason, for some implementation. So you can go and check those things out. How the Jetpack Compose, why we are adopting Jetpack Compose instead of XML. So many of people have a question ki like, should we go with the XML or the Compose? So I will suggest ki go with the XML one, because Compose is coming. It's in the process of adopting. The industries are adopting it, right? Basically in Unacademy too, we are basically migrated our whole the themes and all the design systems. So other devs, whenever they want, so they can pick it out and they start their development. We are not, because I am in a platform team, so I work on the basically UI toolkit, SDKs and design system. So where we take care about the all the buttons and how that thing look like, right? But all your components which you see on the main app, which come from the design system. So all the UI component you will see, that's come from the design system, right? So that's I make in an academy. So here we have almost converted our theme and all this stuff in the Compose, so that other developer, whenever they want, they can pick it out and they can start their development with the Jetpack Compose, because we doesn't want to be a hurdle for any one choice. So yeah, but it's a very uh, subjective thing, right? Industry are basically thinking about, okay, should we go or not? because many of the companies, they get into the compose, like Twitter, Spotify. They started with the compose, but many of the company, there is a 90% of company, they have a XML code base in legacy one, and they are right coming 1 year, I would say they are not going to compose, migrate into the compose. Many of interviewers, they in their JD, they defined ki your compose should be that's a good skill to have, but it's not a necessary, right? So first I will say focus on XML, then go to the compose. Whenever you have a time, then you can explore that part, how compose looks like, because that is the future. That is the future when Android will go there, because that's a declarative UI. So for that too, you can follow me on LinkedIn. Basically, I am doing right now a one compose series, so you can check those out too. Then okay, so after that, whenever you are done with that, you I will share that sheet with you. So that's a basically whatever the advanced stuffs, whatever the theoretical things you should cover, all those things are the provided into that roadmap. So I will provide that roadmap to you. Then whenever you it's a very impossible thing to complete all these things, right? All the roadmaps because it's not easy part, right? Because Android is too vast. Whenever you are deep diving into it, you will get into it. Basically you will you do, whenever you are fall in love with anything, right? You are thinking about, okay, that is thing left, that is thing left. So every time you have a FOMO. So don't think much about, if you have done a basic and you make a network level of project, then I would say go to that interview wala GitHub repository, and just ready your theory, and you are ready for the interview, ready for the for making apps, right? So any startup, you can ready, you are good to go for the Android round. Then there is a two thing for the interview. There is a two thing. One is your DSA, another is your technology. So in a big companies like Microsoft and your Google, which are well established company, right? So in those company, they much care about your DSA skill, your problem solving skill, because they have lot more money. They can afford you to give you 6 months and tell you, okay, learn any tech stack, whatever you want, back end, front end, Android, whatever you want, right? You can learn those things. But in the startups, they doesn't have that much of money. They doesn't have that much of bandwidth. They want key, whenever you come after 1 week, you are a helping hand for them. They don't they don't afford those people. Those are basically, there's a train. So don't want those people. Those are basically pulling the train. You should push the train, right? So they want people who can push the train. So whenever you are in the level of just pushing the train with the very little effort, that is very important. Because there is a senior, there is a other devs, those can help you to become a very strong person in development. But you should be a person who can push the train, not pull the train, right? So other thing is that just ready for these things. After that, let's get into the uh, open source, how the open source work, right? So open source is the what the mind say about open source. Can you say, can you tell me what the your mind says about open source?
Please give me a minute, sir.
Hmm.
Let the people type it.
Hmm.
So yes, we have the answers. They are saying like in which we can contribute, and we can make like a lot of people can make a project. They have mentioned
Hmm.
this.
Hmm.
There is no boundary of there's no boundary of selection. They have mentioned this.
Hmm.
Yep. So that's it.
Okay, okay, let's go. So let me tell you about the open source, right? Open source is a one of the project where the bunch of people, like many of people, can come and contribute on the code base. Uh, Meaningful things, right? Not non-meaningful things, right? Whatever the meaningful, they can just come and contribute. We doesn't give even single penny for that. We are doing for the society well-being. This is kind of non-profitable organizations. They are not made for profit, but they are doing a lot more impact on those people, on the society, right? Like when you go for the Linux, so Linux is the open source, and you know how the Linux is working, right? How the Linux is important for us, right? And how strong system we build, right, in a long run. Then Android is also open source, AOSP, right? So where we write all the SDK code, or all the Android level AOSP code are present in open source. You can go and you can contribute on there. Whatever the problem you are able to solve, you can generate a PR, you can provide to Google, and the maintainers of that project are very happy to merge your pull request, and they are very welcoming in that, right? So that is the open source thing, right? Then other thing is that nowadays, why open source are coming, right? Why everybody is talking about open source? We should work on that, these those, right? So there is a two things, right? For the student, there is a one thing which comes their mind, ki there is a GSOC coming on there is a Richie kind of one of outreachy or something, that is coming. Then girl script is there. These are the people, those are basically promoting the open source, right? Just 1 month ago, there is a Hacktoberfest, which is gone the, in which basically they are promoting a lot more time, in since lot more time they are promoting basically that open source community. They are promoting any of the project, if you have, and you want open source contribution for that. And if they are motivating the developers to come to the open source project and contribute. We will provide you t-shirts, we will provide these things, right? Because open source is the one of the thing which take us of Android app development, or software development to this level, right? Whatever we are uh, in the era of technology, or information is, we are get there, or we are come there because of the open source, or because of the lot more work that people do, and for the free of cost they are doing, right? uh, because of they are willing to change the society, willing to provide convenient to the people, right? That is the whole about. Then come to the part of ki how we can start with open source. If I am a student, then how can I start with the open source? How can I make open source thing, right? So so first thing is that ki it's not a thing ki if you have a if you are going to any of the big organization or repositories, like for CCA, uh, there's a lot more big organization, Andida TV, so OPIA, and many more open source organizations are there, right, for the Android app development. So if you're going there and doing any issue, you are solving any issue from the to that repository and merging your pull request, uh, it's that is open source. But that is not only the open source is if you are making a project which is a meaningful, which trying to solve any kind of problem. Like if you are, let's suppose, making a GitHub repository which have a just interview related question, uh, every company interview related question, right? And many people are using those repository, so that is open source. You and you can make that repository open. Anyone can edit the readme file. Anyone can come and basically they can edit your readme file, just adding their interview experience. So that is a open source you can do. you can make any of the project which have a large scope and which is solving anything, right? So that is you can do. For now, what I am doing, basically, I am making a one of the compose repository which contain all the templates. So whenever people wants a template, want to make a project, so 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 many people have a, like me, I have a that kind of, alles kind of thing ki, like, I don't want to go into the UI, because I see, I want to make, but I don't want to make ki, okay, UI banana padega, then usko integrate karna padega. It's like a lot more tedious work. So न्यू प्रोजेक्ट के अंदर फिर यूआई बनाने में यू हैव टू थिंक अबाउट कि ओके, सो किस तरह से बनाओ. आई एम नॉट दैट मच ऑफ क्रिएटिव पर्सन. सो सो दैट इज द वन ऑफ द थिंग आई फील. So I making a one of the repository which have the all the templates of Instagram UI, your Spotify UI, just for learning the compose. So I'm making the whole the popular app UI into compose. Whenever the person need, they can go and copy paste their code, and they have a UI, they can just need to bus integrate with their API, and after that everything is working fine. So that is one of the kind of thing which I am working. So in which my friend is collaborate, basically helping me in contributing on that project, one or two friend. So you can't say that is a open source. That is also open source. You are convinced two-person to come to that project, and they are making a contribution, and they are changing the society, right? In their way, that is not a big issue. But yeah, you are trying to solve. That is one of the thing, right? You are facing a issue and you are solving that problem. So so that is a one of the thing. So I will say, go first, whatever you are making, do it. If you are very enthused about the open source, do it open, right? Write the issues, whatever you can't make, right? Because of the time issues, or because of the whatever, you can make the issues, right? Ki, I want to make that, I am not able to make, right? So anyone, your friend or any other person who want to contribute, they can go and check out your code base, and they can add and make a PR to you. So that is the open source. That is the open source thing, right? So so why the company is, one of the thing is the basically your, that these goodies the Google and the other companies are providing, because of they are promoting the open source, right? And other thing is that many of companies, big companies, they are uh, taking care of those resumes, those have a open source contribution. But I will say, if you have a open source project which have at least 10 contributor, or you are the maintainer of that project, I will say any interviewer, any company, they are much good to your resume, because of you have a you are not going there and just solving one issue or adding two features in their project. You have created a one open source project. That's a very big thing you have done, right? So I will say, make your project, whatever you want to solve the issue, make that project. Invite people, go to the LinkedIn, invite meaningful people, come and contribute to your project. And and now you are ready with the open source. You are doing your open source, right? uh, then, but whenever you go, there's a lot more in industry, you will get lot more repositories, right? There's a Square, there is a Google have a lot more open source repository. Then for CCI have a lot more open source repository. PimpMe is one of the project, right? Opia have. Then Anita TV is a woman organization, it have a open source repository, right? So in those repository, go check the beginner first issue, right? There is a one beginner first issue tag. They are care about the children, right? Ki what is the beginner first issue? Go to beginner first issue, uh check it, ki just comment it there, right? Ki I want to pick that issue, right? I want to pick that issue. They will tell you, okay, go ahead, right? Start learning those things, right? how the start making projects, right? There is a lot more contribution guidelines, and there is a setup of project have something, right? Like some commands, run to some commands, and some whatever things they needed, they mention into the doc, right? Read the doc, install the project, then then see the issue, what is the issue is, right? If you have any confusion, go on the thread, go on that issue, ask the question, they will reply. One of the thing is like, in open source, it's a when you write a question today, you will get reply after 1 week. Maybe that's become a issue, because uh, 1 week is a big time, right? You will you will lost कि okay मैंने क्या question पूछा था कि because it's not a profitable organization, so everyone is working for their bread and butter, right? So they have to do that priority ki like bread and butter first, then they can go for the open source, right? So the maintainers, they have a enthusiasm for the open source, but they are not able to give that much of time, because of everyone needs their bread and butter. So so for that, so you have to just go, basically start with the beginner first, ask the question, reply definitely come. First check that key, okay, that repository is active or not, because it's have a new issue, or whatever the pull request is merged, how much time it's basically gone, that merge request, like 2 months or 3 months. If it is a less than 1 month, that's a very good thing, because that organization is pretty much active about that project. So go and start contribution on those projects. First select the basically active projects. That's a very important thing, right? Because if you're getting the answer of your question by 1 month or 2 months, because I am getting ki like, when I was in college, I just basically message in one of the open source project ki I want to pick that issue. After 3 months I got a reply ki okay, you can go ahead. I am like ki which project I should go ahead. So that is one of the things, right? So in that case, I will say ki find a good project which have a basically active community, right? uh, so after that, whenever you are making your first pull request, make your full pull request, tell them to review their pull request. It will take time, because open source is a lot, it's a thing which takes a lot more time, because everyone is working in their into. But yeah, there is a some a country gap, like time gap and all. So it will take time to merge your pull request, but don't miss your motivation. Work on your own project if you get time. Make your own open source project, make those things like in parallel wise, and because it's a parallel thing, I will say. Okay. And the other thing is that there's a lot more meetings going on. They have their chat channel. Join those groups, join those chat channel, because when you go to that chat channel, then you get more in depth about knowledge about that project. So you doesn't need that much to deep dive into that project, sorry, asking that much of questions, because in chat or in meeting you will get a lot more answers, right? So that is the one of the thing. Yeah, that is all about the open source project. I think I have speak a lot more. I think you everyone they can ask a question, whatever they want to
Sure,
ask. Yeah.
sure. So yes, sir, we have 3 to 4 questions.
Hmm.
Let's take them.
Hmm.
Some
Hmm.
companies, can you suggest some companies or communities which are good for contribution?
Okay. So there is a one open source project from CRAD, Popin UI, I think. That is a basically design system
Mhm.
for CRAD. So that is one of the fascinating project I recently see, and I am also looking into it, contributing into it. So you can go to contribute on that. Other thing is that there is a one Skydop. That is a Korean developer, Android developer, right? And he have a great projects, right?
Okay.
Pocket X and lot more projects they have, right? And he's very active, very active. I would say, uh, I don't know how that motivation where they come from, right? So he's a lot more active and a lot more passionate about Android. You can go and check that out, their projects. Uh, for the compose, there is a compose cookbook. There is a lot more project open source. You can go and contribute on that. Otherwise, I have for the beginners, I have a one project. They for there they can come and they can contribute on that. I have also a open source repository, and my friend there is a my friend that's name is sorry, I forget that GitHub name, GitHub user ID. That's Sparrow 007. Yeah, so his GitHub ID. There is a lot more custom view he have made. So in that you can go and you can contribute on that. So that is one of the things that we love. We love whenever the contribution come, and that is adding some feature in our project, right? That is one of the thing which any maintainer, any open source maintainer, they want, right? They come to my project and contribute on that. And for that motivation, a lot more these events are coming, right? And coming soon, there is a lot more events will come, uh, right? uh, yeah.
Got it, sir. Got it. Um, Another question we have is, can you
Mhm.
suggest some impressive project ideas which can boost our resume?
Mm, so impressive ideas, I will say ki, see, if you have a unique project ideas, right? So that's also boost, always boost your resume, right? So let's suppose, if you have a team, right? And you have a basically one person who have a basically good knowledge of AI/ML, right? And you have a good knowledge of Android app development, and one is a backend. Do collab with those people, right? And make a one music app, which totally taking basically based on AI/ML, right? Mm, this is the one of the thing which basically, whenever you are writing on resume, that's look that stand out, right? Other thing is that if you have a unique project and you are basically you make that app and you are posting on the Play Store, and you are getting a 500 user, that is not a big deal, I will say. Okay, because if you have a good idea, if you have you are solving any problem, then getting the 500 user base, it's not a big deal. If you will get that thing, and you are mentioning that link of your project on your resume, that will have stand out in your resume, that will basically, you are out of that veer, there's a veer, and you are will be out of that. So that is the one of the thing. Then basically, when you see my projects, right? So I am from the EC background, so I have a lot more projects in the IoT sector. I love to do all IoT things. I love to work on Raspberry Pi. So 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 I after that I get a passion of Android app development. So in Android app development, I just connected those things. I just connected those things. I make a one of the home automation project. So which is a eventually one of my teacher, he takes that take initiative that is startup, and he makes an startup, right? So when he makes that startup, and right now it's name of Marvino, it's working in it's a one company, right? So 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 I make that app, and basically that's make a one startup, right? So so that is the one of the thing which gives you a standout, right? Then one other thing which takes when you, if you have no ideas, if you know no ideas about the unique things, I would say go to the other person organization and not go for the bigger ones like Microsoft and Google, because they didn't give you that much exposure to building the project from scratch. You can go to Internsala, you can go to the any other very small organizations, right? Which they want MVP, right? So they will tell you ki make the Android app for they have whatever the idea, they want to say ki, okay, make that Android app, or do these feature addition in these Android app. And when you will add ki, okay, I have worked on that app, uh, and I have added those features, that is more impressive, I think. That is more impressive, yeah.
Got it, sir. Got it. The last question which we have, sir, can you name some companies which don't ask for DSA and focus on projects only?
Okay. Don't ask DSA. There is a lot more companies. Those don't focus much on DSA. But those are the very early stage startups, right? Those are not that much of a big those even don't have a funding, right? Like Repos is there, right? Which is a, I think he have a funding from Tata, I think right now. But I'm not sure. But when I was applying, so in all the interview rounds, I didn't get any DSA question, right? Then there's many more companies which are not, I would say, small, but it's not a funded company, right? So you are not expecting more than 6 LPA there. But yeah, you can go there, right? They can provide you 5 or 6 LPA, maybe sometimes 7 LPA if you are more lucky. So you will get there. Square Boat is there. There is a lot more service based companies, Kuka Labs, then many more companies are there, right? I am not able to remember all of the names. But whenever you are going for the any funded companies, they are not very care about your graph skill or your trees skill, right? Not care about these things, but they just if you are coming for the Android app development profile, so they just care about your knowledge about your arrays, array list, linked list, stack, queues, and little bit of tree. Just these things, string manipulation and all. Just these things they need, right? So that is not a big thing. I will say ki they have not a very hard interview round for the DSA. Even if you are they are asking a 3 question, right? And you are able to say the approach of two, and you are able to solve one of the question, so you are ready to go for the next round. So I will say ki practice your DSA, because that will increase your solving problem solving skill. I'm totally agree ki if you are development guy who love about development, those doesn't get that much of time, but it's just a matter of 1 to 2 months. Just give that 1 or 2 months, or you are good to crack those interviews, right? I will say whenever you are prepared with these development stuffs, take 1 month, do practice. There is a lot more free resources. Do whatever I am saying, that 5 to 6 data structures. Do 10 question on each, and you are ready to the interview.
Got it, sir.
So you can go to the good companies, right? Which have a good pay, or which have a good work too. They are solving a very awesome industry problems. So you can go on the product based startups like Zomato, Swiggy, maybe Unacademy, Crad. There is a lot more companies, yeah.
Got it, sir. Got it. Hmm. So, we don't have any new question. Like the other question are similar to these questions, or I would say that
Mhm.
just language has changed, the meaning is same.
Mhm.
So, yep, we don't have any new question. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for providing huge knowledge to our community. And your session was definitely great, sir. And definitely we people learned many things. from you, and people are saying thank you, sir, for providing a huge session and providing. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So that's the message
Yeah.
from our community. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you for inviting me there. Thank you for giving me platform to speak about Android development. That's an awesome tech stack I found ever right now. Because I am very love and passionate fascination about that Android development, right?
Yep.
I will say ki if you are interested to learn, so I have a community for basically that community is aimed to provide Android app development knowledge. That's aim for talking about the new things which comes like Jetpack Compose and whatever comes in Android. We do talk on that. I have a basically person there, like me and my friend. He's in Gojek, so we do whenever we get time, we prepare talk and give talk on these community. That's a small telegram community which have professionals of Bazooz or many more companies, startups. So you can join that community. That's a Android world name, I think. So you can join that community and you can learn from there. So yeah, thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So, people, we hope you enjoyed the session, and we hope that you got the answer of your questions. Let's meet in the next event. Till then, keep learning, keep enjoying, and yes, the weekend is going to end soon in the few hours. Start working from tomorrow.